just like all other DIY projects, I think when you start doing it, you kind of feel overwhelmed at the beginning. Really, there's not a lot to this, to be completely honest. The seal was actually right here, and I started pulling it out because I planned on working more last night, but I forgot I had plans. Anyway, but the first thing you want to do is size your window. Take a measurement of your window, your current window. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's and just get it as close as possible. What you want to avoid is getting a window that's too big. You can always frame out a window if it's a little smaller, but if you have a window that's too big, then you're going to have a hell of a time getting it in, and there's going to be a lot of reframing in the wall or something. You don't want to go that route. Trust me. Anyways, let's get to it. So this is actually what the outside of the window looks like. It's really old, needs replaced. But I'm going to start with taking off these side pieces of wood. Take off the top one. Yesterday, when I started taking apart the inside, the bottom windowsill just fell out. So the wood underneath it isn't rotted. This isn't really rotted. Barely. Actually, not really rotted at all. To be honest, just needs cleaned up. But that's the bottom of the window framing. Anyways, I'm going to start tearing that apart. I'm going to leave this going from the inside. And to be honest, the only thing that was holding this window on was the trim. It's kind of weird. Definitely not how you're supposed to do it. You should mount your window into the framing itself. Alright guys, so I have this cleaned up. Next thing you want to do is take a measurement of your width and your height and compare it to the window you bought. Obviously, you're trying to get your window as close as possible, so it shouldn't be too far off. Also, if I could compare this to anything, it's really similar to like framing in a door. You pretty much put the door in and kind of frame in all the edges, but you're pretty much doing the exact same thing for doing a window. Also, you need to build a frame around the window, so make sure you have wood. Okay, so typically you wouldn't have to frame in this much. This is a close size window. This is a replacement window. This house was built in like 1950. I think the windows are probably that old. Actually, I don't know if they're that old, but they're old. I'm going to put a couple more wombis in the bottom to fill in that gap from the top. The main thing is, when you're framing in these windows, you want to make sure you frame in equally. Like I did 2x4s all the way around. Then I'm going to do a wombi and a wombi on top. So everything's proportionate. So when you go to do your trim, all your trim is going to be proportionate, especially on the outside. If you don't have this proportionate, then you're going to have like I don't even know, like you're going to have a piece of trim on this side that's like a 2x6, and this one over here is going to be like a 1x2 or something, and it's going to look messed up on the outside. So the main thing is just make sure you're framing everything proportionate. Something else you're going to need are shims. I typically don't screw these in all the way, just in case I need to add shims. I ended up using a couple shims. Actually, I did three up top. All right, so next thing we're going to do is actually install the window. Your window should fit really tight. Once you have all your framing in place, your window is going to come with 4 screws. And there's a screw hole in the top on each side and the bottom on each side. There's also these little guys that you have to slide out of the way. The top ones you're going to end up removing after you finish installing the window. The bottom ones, you literally just slide up and you slide back down. It's really simple. A lot of people worry about like how hard, or they think that a lot of the stuff that they pay contractors to do, like framing windows and stuff like that's going to be really hard, but or they're going to be overwhelmed. It is overwhelming the first time you do it, but to be honest, as long as you're not one of those people that just give up really easily, this is something that I honestly believe that anybody can do. These are the guides I'm talking about. All right. So that is pretty much it. The basics to framing a window. Make sure your window opens and shuts, and you won't ever have to mess with it again. By the way, before you put your trim on, go ahead and put caulking around all your edges, anywhere your cracks are at. Just window caulking. I think it's like called like window and door caulking. So yeah, next time you're gonna pay a contractor, just honestly, as long as you buy a couple tools, it gets a little expensive buying tools at the beginning, but once you have the tools, you can reuse them and you can get a lot done around your house and save a lot of money.